How are you all doing? I hope everyone is safe, healthy, and positive at their home. This is Seema, and today's topic of science is taken from class 6. So, students, today we will be learning about heat transfer. We will be knowing what the procedure or what the process of heat transfer and what are the various kind of heat transfer. So, starting off with heat transfer. What do we understand by the term heat transfer? Heat transfer is referred as the movement of heat or thermal energy from one thing to another thing of different temperatures. When we have two or more things or substance or matter at different temperature and then there is transfer of heat from one substance to other, this process of transferring of heat or thermal energy is termed as heat transfer. Now let's try to understand what are the various types of heat transfer. That is how we can define or how we can classify the heat transfer process. So here we go. First one is conduction. The process of transferring of heat from the hotter end to the colder end of an object is known as conduction. Whenever there is heat transfer or thermal energy from the hotter part or hotter thing or substance to the colder part or colder thing, then this is termed as conduction. We can see an image on the slide then that a pan is kept on a gas stove and it is kept for boiling. So the transfer of heat from the gas stove to this pan of water or any substance is having the process of heat transfer. Then coming up to convection. Convection is the process in which heat is transmitted from one place to other by the actual movement of heated particles. When there is no difference in temperature between the substance or there is no transfer of heat from the different temperature substance, instead there is a motion of the heated particles, then it is termed as convection. So in the image, the boiling water particles, movement of these heated particles are having the process of convection heat transfer. Coming up to next, that is radiation. Radiation is a process in which heat is transmitted from one place to the other directly without intervening medium. Radiation process is the process in which the thermal energy or the heat is transmitted from one place or one thing to the other thing without any medium. Unlike conduction. Conduction requires a medium for the transfer of heat, whereas radiation doesn't require. Now let's try to understand all these types of heat transfer in detail. Starting out with conduction. Conduction is a process by which the heat energy is transmitted through the collision between the neighboring atoms or molecules. When there is the collision of neighboring atoms and molecules, the heat energy is transmitted. We can see in the image the atoms and molecules nearer to the candle light or to the candle flame are going or are passing on to the neighboring atoms and molecules, and these collision is transmitting the heat energy. These vibrating molecules collide with their neighboring molecules, make them also vibrate faster. When the vibrating molecules collide with their neighboring atoms and molecules, they make the next or the neighboring atom and molecule collide even more faster, which helps in the heat transmission. As this process or as these molecules collide, thermal energy is transferred via conduction to the rest of the pan. And because of this collision of atoms and molecules and this vibration of atoms and molecules helps in the heat transfer, and hence the conduction process takes place. I hope we were able to understand till here. Now let's move on further. Now let's try to understand the process of convection heat transfer. What does it mean and how does it occur? So, convection is the process of heat transfer in fluids by the actual motion of matter. So convection is a process in which there is the actual motion of the heated particles. When these heated particles are moving, this movement or this process of transferring is called as convection, and it happens in liquid and gases. This process of convection of heat transfer majorly occur in liquid and gases. Then it is natural as well as forced. The convection heat transfer can be natural, that is, the motion of the heated particles can be naturally carried away, or it can be forced, that is, by giving any external impact of air or heat. This effect can be carried away. Then it involves a bulk of transfer of portion of the fluid. The process convection of heat transfer includes the bulk of, that is, the large amount of transfer of fluid, portion of fluid. When a fluid is heated from below, thermal expansion takes place. Whenever any fluid is heated up from below, then there is a thermal expansion. That is the heat transmission, the expansion of the atoms and molecule of the fluid. Now in the image we can see the heated fire in a room causes the convection heat transfer. That is, the particles or the heated particles are in motion. These type of motion and transfer that is being carried out by the heated particles is convection. After convection, now let's try to understand what is radiation. What this process of radiation all about. So, radiation happens when heat moves as energy waves called infrared waves directly from its source to the material. Whenever the wave termed as infrared wave in radiation moves from the source to the material to the other matter at the different temperature, it is radiation heat transfer. The radiation heat transfer from one surface to the another is the radiation leaving the first surface for the other minus that arriving from the second surface. So, whenever there is radiation heat transfer, the heat or the thermal energy that is being transmitted by the source, it arrives at the second surface or the destination source or thing, it is lesser to the temperature compared to the source temperature. Now, the hotter an object, the more infraradiation it gives off. More the temperature of a source is, more the infrared waves will be emitted by the source. We need to understand this thing. Whenever we have any source which is at higher temperature and it is emitting the waves or rays, then these waves or rays will be or more in quantity at higher temperature. No particles are involved in radiation unlike conduction. For radiation, there is a difference. It doesn't require any medium for its occurrence. Radiation heat transfer occurs without any medium. Radiation heat transfer is mediated by electromagnetic radiation known as thermal radiation that arises due to the temperature of the body. The process of radiation occurs because of electromagnetic radiation that arises due to the temperature of the body, that is the temperature of the source. We can see in an example in the image given over the slide, the radiation that is being transmitted by the sun is the infrared waves, and this is an example of radiation heat transfer which the person lying is receiving. That is the temperature lowering down and it is received by the destination image or destination thing. So, Now that's all for the day. Now let's do the quick recap of what all things we have learned. We have learned about the process of heat transfer. That is, what do we understand by the term heat transfer? What are the various type of heat transfer? That is conduction, convection and radiation. And we have also studied how these three types of heat transfer are different from each other. In my next session, we will be learning about these type with few more examples. And if you have any particular question or any particular topic to be added on, you can just comment in the comment box below. I will be adding it to my next session. So this is the home assignment or the revision assignment which we can easily do it. It is related to the topic that we have studied today. We have few images, and according to the images we need to classify what these images are depicting the type of heat transfer. These are very easy one. It is related to the topic that we have covered today. In any case, if we are not able to do it, you can just comment below in the comment box so that I can provide you the solution. But we hope that we will be able to do it. So that's all for the day. I hope you might have enjoyed this session. Thank you for watching my video, and please do like and subscribe and comment about the video in the comment box. And if you like the video, do subscribe to it so that you are notified about my next upcoming videos related to science and maths. If also you have any specific topic that I need to cover up or I need to prepare, you can just mention below in the comment box about the topic. I will be for sure preparing it. Until we meet next, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.